Unphased family, let's go. We got another great episode for y'all today with my brother Eric.Diggs. We played football at Cornell University together, D1. And now he's one of the owners and founders of a Christian entertainment company. It's crazy, man. This is a great episode, especially for all athletes, current and former. You need to watch this episode. This is the best advice given to any athletes for the next decade. So make sure y'all tap in right here and stay unfazed. Let's get it.
I'm unfazed, I'm unfazed, yeah, I'm unfazed, I'm unfazed, yeah, I'm unfazed, I'm unfazed, yeah, finna stack this paper, I'm unfazed, yeah, finna stack this paper, I'm unfazed.
Let's go to this coffee spot. And he got a latte. I'm like, I might as well try one too. And I was like, okay. And then I tried them. Like, okay, this is actually kind of good. So I kind of got on it. And I got a little coffee maker in the house. And
you got a coffee maker in the house now? Oh yeah, you deep in the weeds now.
I'm deep in it, man. I'm deep. I'm gonna see. But I don't know how much it helps me. You know what I mean? Like I know people talk about it helps you.
They talk about they need it. I actually drink it because I kind of starting to like it a little bit, but I don't feel like it just.
I don't feel like it
like a crazy amount of energy. I've never felt like that with anything though, caffeinated at all.
Anything. There was these things. One of my guys got me on. It was like Neurogum. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard Neurogum.
Neurogum, I was like, I tried that too just to see, and that don't do nothing for me. I'm like, I'm already kind of up and active. I thought it was gonna like get me going.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that big shot because
like a little burst.
They can't even get functioning without their little caffeine, coffee, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's crazy. But bro, how you been doing, man? Tell me a little bit, bro. How's life been for you?
I ain't got no complaints. Traveling a lot these days. Doing entrepreneurship right now. Staying with my brothers and a couple of my close friends. Like I said, I'm back in Nashville area.
Y'all stay together, like you got like a crib, a little apartment or something together?
Yeah, we got a house, so 5 roommates in the house.
It's big time.
It is big time.
I've always wanted to do that, bro. You like back in college for real?
Low key a little bit, but a lot more just like, adulting.
Adulting, for sure. How's that been?
Honestly, it's like trying to find things to keep you busy. Just because, when you're playing sports and all that stuff.
You got schedule.
Boom, and you got schedule, and you got classes and all that stuff. So you just used to just doing a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like a slower pace of life. So it's been interesting getting adjusted to that. But been enjoying it overall. Kind of still trying to figure out what I want to do career-wise, footing-wise, as I continue just launching. Because I'm still trying to see what I can do to challenge myself so I continue learning and growing.
Yeah.
More and more and more. But, yeah, man,
Yeah. And do you think it's could you see yourself like in a regular, like 9 to 5 type thing? I know you said you're doing a little entrepreneurship now, but could you see yourself doing that? Like a little 9 to 5?
And it's funny because I was doing the 9 to 5, then I hopped off to do the entrepreneurship thing because what we started doing started taking off. But now I'm in a place where I'm out here on the deep end on the entrepreneurship side, and I kind of see some of the benefits of going back to doing 9 to 5 from the standpoint of learning.
From the standpoint of learning, you said?
Yeah, just getting more corporate training. And getting more connected. And so I've been thankful, I've been able to network with a lot of different people. But yeah, I just see there's a lot of stuff that if I go into it with the mentality of learning, it's different than just trying to chase the same rat race and work my way up the corporate ladder. I don't desire to work up a corporate ladder, but I do love learning and enhancing and sharpening my skills.
Facts. I think that's a misconception that a lot of people have, right? Because it's like, there's two sides of it. It's like the 9 to 5 is like bad. Yeah. Everyone wants to be an entrepreneur nowadays. But it's also that other side where it's like a lot of the wealthiest people have leveraged their 9 to 5 in order to help them build this entrepreneurial thing, this side hustle, whatever it is. Or also, like you're saying, is like 9 to 5 may be decent for leveraging the networks and the connections and the training and different things like that. So that's an interesting perspective.
Yeah, especially when you're in the finance sector, you can get around just maybe some VCs or other entrepreneurial companies or other growth stage companies. Like getting in those type of arenas is really beneficial. So I was working in corporate banking before I took the leap to do the Christian entertainment company I'm working on. Yeah, and they were a growth stage company.
Where were you at first?
I was at a place called Thread Bank, and so what they do is there was a group of investors that came and recapitalized this community bank that was out in East Tennessee. And then they put their headquarters in Nashville, Tennessee. And so based out of the headquarters, they came in with the new strategy to make it a more digital focused bank. So they want to work with different fintech companies and be the sponsor bank behind the fintech companies, allowing them to offer the banking product and services to the end users. So I was able to come in while they were just had the bank recapitalized. I interned with them for a little bit. Then I went down. I did my stint, my little stint at Stetson, and I came back home and I came on with full time with them. And so that's when they started onboarding all these different fintech companies and all these things. They didn't have a lot of stuff built out, but they were growing really fast.
Yeah.
So it allowed me to just plug in and whatever I could learn, I could do. And so I'm a fast learner, and I was hungry, and so they just kept giving me more and more.
Got
and more
that
and
dog
more
in you, boy. That boy hungry, boy.
Oh, boy. So yeah, I ended up building out like a lot of their data and reporting and things of that nature for their portfolio of fintech clients, and then I was able to be on management calls as we're vetting different potential clients, presenting to senior leaderships, and I'm getting experience presenting to high management, creating stuff for board decks. And so, yeah, I got a lot of different just training just because I was able to just plug and chug, and it's a growth stage environment.
So you got a lot of experience there when training, working there.
Yeah.
That sounds dope, though. I mean, like coming out of college and being able to go into that, and like that's
100%.
pure right into the workforce. You know what I mean?
100%.
Locked in, you're learning. So your skill level just boom, 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 automatically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how was that? Because at Cornell, what did you study?
So I studied finance at Cornell.
You studied finance at Cornell, okay. And what about?
It was right in line.
Yeah, so it was right in line with what you were doing. Okay, and then when you graduated from Cornell, you went to this company, and then you went to Stetson.
Yeah, so when I graduated from Cornell, because originally the plan was always like, all right, I'm gonna graduate. I'm gonna set myself up to graduate semester early, and then we're gonna train for the combine in the spring and do that and go to the league. So that was always the plan. But then COVID happened, pushed everything back. But I was still on track to graduate early, so I ended up still graduating early. I chose not to stay at Cornell and extend it.
I'm with you, brother. We the same thing.
And so when I came home, though, I was training, and then I got an internship at the bank that I was working. So I interned with them for about 3 months. Then I went down to Stetson in the summer, trained with them, had my season. Wasn't a great season. So then I decided to come back home, and I came on with them full time. And then, I worked there for about, almost a year and a half, almost 2 years full time before I ended up taking the leap last November to run this Christian entertainment company full time because it just started blowing up like crazy.
Yeah, and we're definitely gonna have to talk about that too because I have a lot of questions about that. But with Stetson, I want to go back to Stetson, like even that period of time for you, because like on the podcast, like we just talk about that a lot because automatically I'm an athlete, so I'm connecting with a bunch of athletes and stuff, dudes that I went to school with, played with. Like a lot of times we talk about like that feeling or like that mindset that we were in and still currently in during that time of like, okay, like we're going to the league, you know what I mean? This was going on. We're setting ourselves up to happen. What was that journey kind of like for you? Like even finishing Cornell off of like, because you balled at Cornell. You was balling at Cornell, but then going to Stetson, and I don't know the exact experience, but like what was that journey like in having to transition your mindset from, okay, NFL maybe to, okay, I'm going to work now, or maybe that dream's over, or however it was for you?
Yeah, I think for me, like I've always had a bigger picture in mind. Like I've always wanted to leverage my mind for more than just sports. And
That's
obviously I love sports because so growing up, I'm always playing, like ever since I was 6, playing football, track, basketball, so doing it all. And I always figured that I was going to go to the league, but I needed some training behind the scenes in terms of how to leverage your finances properly, because you just see so many people who go to the league and then they burn out and they lose all their money. And you hear the story, go bankrupt all the time. It's like, how you go bankrupt with millions of dollars?
Exactly.
And so that's why I really wanted to leverage a Cornell degree, learn finance, and get trained up in that for that reason. I think for me, in terms of like the football journey itself, I was balling out of Cornell, but towards like, I think my senior year, I was having some injuries. And I actually got really sick at one point. Just out of nowhere got sick. They said it wasn't COVID, but it had like all the COVID symptoms. It was like really weird. Then came back, got injured. And then when I came back, I just wasn't the same player towards the end of the season. And so I kind of felt like I needed a fresh start somewhere else, hopefully. So I was talking to a few different coaches. And Stetson ended up being one that was just heavily pursuing me. So I went down there. But then when I got down there, just honestly, I don't know what it was, but something wasn't clicking, and all I played was special teams for real.
Something wasn't clicking as far as like just
to me personally, and then just an alignment with what the coaches were saying to me versus when I got there, before I got there versus when I actually got there.
And this is the crazy thing, E, because we were at a time of like when that transfer portal thing, like it was just now, boom, everybody was like, all these people in the transfer portal, everybody was going there. So I kind of went through the same thing like a year before you, where it was like, okay, I don't think like necessarily the coaches and I weren't aligned, because like at the end of the day, you got to get there, you got to show them you could play or not. But I ran into a lot of like weird stuff, and I'm like, this would not have. I should have just stayed at court. Like I was like, I should have stayed at court if I'm gonna get the same thing. Not the same thing, but it's like, yeah. But I don't like to look back on it like that, because I did gain a lot of experiences from Indiana State and everything. But 100%. I was just bringing that up because I'm like, everybody thinks, and people that see this, they think the transfer portal is sweeter. It's just cool to go here, go there. It's not as sweet as a lot of coaches make it out to be, or players make it out to be. And it's not like that for everybody.
And you got to remember too, it's a business. So like, it's nothing personal what the coaches are going to do to you or not going to do to you. They're really trying to do what it takes to keep their job.
Yes.
So if it takes, them making a lot of promises and getting multiple people there and then ultimately making a decision on who they want, then that's just what it is. So they're doing what they think is best for them. Mm-hmm. And you got to be okay with that. Obviously, you hope that you would show up the best version of yourself, and that would allow you to overcome. But it happens. It's a side of the story most people don't talk about. They think, oh, yeah, I don't like it here, so if I just switch over there, it's going to be better. It's not necessarily true.
Not necessarily true. Exactly. Especially if you have like rapport somewhere, you got recruiters, and it's like you're comfortable, like, because it's like we're not from, like, a lot of people do it for that reason, but it's like we weren't like just average players at Cornell. Like we were dominating at Cornell, and we chose to leave because we wanted something new. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was like we were them dudes. So it's like to transfer, then go somewhere, and it's like a little bit different. Like a lot of people think it's like, okay, I could transfer over here. I'm a senior. This is my last year. Of course, they know the situation. They're gonna play me. No, there was a point they put me on the scout team, and I couldn't even go to the meetings with the regular team.
Oh snap!
They put me in the scout team, so I'm in the scout. I'm in the scout team. I'm waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning. I go to the team meeting, and then we have to separate to offense, defense, and they have scout team. I couldn't even go to the offensive meeting, like I wasn't allowed to. I had to go to this classroom with the freshmen. Like it was only freshmen and sophomores in here. And I'm the oldest dude in here just looking. And they got me at quarterback, running back, and I'm just killing. But when it come time to go to practice, I'm killing the defense. Because I'm like, You guys aren't like that for real. So it was an interesting situation, bro.
Dang. Yeah, I think that's a good point that you bring up, though. Just when you have a place where you have like a good rapport and you are playing well, because at the end of the day, what we were trying to do is like, what's the best opportunity to get to the league? Do we need a bigger school to get a better opportunity? Yeah. And, you listen to a lot of different advice, but going back, it's kind of like, man, wherever you can get that film up and just put up good numbers in your combine, that's what you need.
And because a lot of it, that's exactly what you need. And because a lot of times, like, you don't know the mindset. Like a lot of stuff you have to control the controllables.
Yep.
With transferring, it's different for everybody, right? But you're putting yourself in a position where you're losing a lot of control. Like you're giving that coach, that system, that organization a lot of control. Because I got there, and my kind of story, you probably know a little bit of it, but it's like I went from scout team. The starting receivers got hurt. Like 2 of them got hurt. They pulled me over. We played Northwestern, and they still weren't playing me. I was the second string. Yep. The dude was before me wasn't playing good. Then they put me in. They're like, oh, my God, this guy's actually good, because I was getting right against Northwestern, the Big Ten school, and I was killing them. I won the starting spot. Next game, I had the game-winning touchdown versus Eastern Kentucky. I'm the starter for the rest of the year. But then 2 games later, we start running the ball. Like we don't even throw the ball anymore. Like we change our whole offense to a running offense. So it's like at that point, it's like, how am I able to? This is my senior year. So it's like I'm pondering all these things. So it's like you're losing a lot of control and leverage there as well, because this is your only first year there. You haven't been there for 4 years like some of the other guys,
And you only got 1 year, so it's not like if it goes wrong 1 year, then you can get it right the next year and you get the report with them in the spring and all
exactly. And then the coach got the nerve. He's gonna bring me into the office and be like, yeah, we got these guys. I don't know if you're going to really be able to play this year. if you want a red shirt, we could start doing that. I'm like, I'm not about to stay here for 2 years. I barely want to be like, what are we doing? But it was just, to say the least, it was crazy. But now it's even different because like NIL, all these things, people really going for money. So I'm like, I ain't got no advice for nobody.
It's a different ball.
Because like it's completely different.
It's more of a business than anything now across the board. So it is interesting.
Yeah. And what do you think for you? Was it like, because I think like we're still not that far removed from like college and everything, but that mindset, I think the beautiful thing that you said is that your mindset was never always, okay, football. You always had the sports and you always knew you were going to leverage your mind to do greater things outside of sports regardless. So I think that's, a lot of people don't have that. So a lot of people are solely, myself included, for a long time. I don't think always, but like myself, a lot of my identity revolved around me being this great football player. So then when that didn't happen, okay, I didn't get drafted or the combine or the pro day and all that stuff. I want to know for you, like, what was that mindset shift like getting away from, okay, maybe I'm done with football. Like, was that transition saying like, I'm done with football? Was that tough for you?
Yeah, that's a good question. Growing up, we didn't have much growing up at all. So my parents, I'm like 4 or 5 years old, and they're like, "Hey, like if you want to go to college, like you gonna have to pay for yourself. You're not paying for nothing."
Thanks.
I don't even know what college is at this point. But it became very evident. They always emphasized you can be great academically and athletically, so they pushed both of them. And
That's dope.
thankfully, I was a kid that excelled at both of them at a high level. We ended up going to a private school when I was in 6th grade, and so I went from private school from 6th grade all the way up till graduating high school. And I remember my pops when we first started going there. Obviously, you go into a white school and all these things, and he has to give you the rules in terms of like how to navigate yourself and stuff like. That's a reality people don't talk about for real.
It's not. Yeah.
So he's telling me that, but one of the things he said also that really stuck with me is like, hey, win every single award possible. And literally I did that, and I won the top award at the school by the time I graduated that you can win at the school. So I had always been setting myself up from there, but it was kind of like instilled in me from a young age that there is more. And then obviously going to a place like Cornell kind of opens up your mind. You're around these hedge funds and CEOs, kids, and you just see the life that they're living, and it's like, why not me? Why not my kids have this lifestyle? I can be the person that changes that. And
I could be the one to send my kids to Cornell.
Exactly. We talked about this all the time when we were staying together. So
all the time.
Having a group of guys like you guys, and then seeing it from a different perspective at Cornell and being around it's like, I'm this close to it. There's no reason why this can't be me. I think the biggest thing that we get to now is knowing when to hang up the cleats. That's the tough part. That's the tough part there, because honestly, like I tell people now, I feel more athletic now than I did when I was playing.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
And a lot of it's probably just because I'm fully rested and healed. Like
healed, we done healed up.
You're just going through stuff and you're just pushing through injuries or just minor things, continuously grinding that rest. If I could go back and do it again, I would take more time and rest and do nothing in some of the off seasons and then get back into it. Just because my body is just no more inflammation and just like little stuff like that. It just feels good.
Yes.
So knowing when to hang it up. And so, I could have finessed another year at Stetson if I wanted to, because of how I didn't play my freshman year at Cornell. And so in the Ivy League, they don't redshirt. But since I was in a different conference, I could count that as a redshirt year and they could finesse it for me. And I had a guy, Devin Brewer, he went down there with me.
Yeah.
He ended up doing that and enjoying it. Now he's playing overseas and having a good time.
He's playing overseas. Yeah. My dog. Yeah.
Yeah. So I chose not to do that because I also knew I had this job opportunity lined up as well. And I was weighing the pros and cons. I went through the season with them. It was not a great season. It wasn't great for me mentally. It wasn't great for me on the field. And, you start thinking, like, I got a family as well. And, like, my family's always looked at me as, like, the chosen one, the oldest one. So it became bigger than me at that point. And I took that opportunity. I think it's still tough. Obviously, like, I went to my high school football game on Friday. Was at a college game on Saturday at Vanderbilt watching them. And so sometimes you just start seeing stuff. I see the game differently. I feel like I'm more mentally in tune with the game, physically in tune with the game. So it's like, I could get out there and do that. I still got it in me, like, to want to do that.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I see practices and stuff. I'm like, I don't miss that. So there's like the combination of it. I think it's a constant battle. It's real. I still have a competitive nature. And I think, as I was talking about earlier in the call, it's just like, what can I do to like find an outlet for this in a way that's going to be meaningful, not just to myself, but those around me. And so I try to keep a perspective of the people around me, my community, and just how can I be an impact player there. And that's what keeps me going and helps me to not get so down in the weeds. But yeah, I never found my identity in sports or a career. So that's always been a blessing for me as well. Like my identity was never in those things. And so that allows me to be able to make, a wise decision when it's time to hang up the cleats for myself and just be able to just kind of take an objective viewpoint of my life and current situation and be like, all right, this is the best path forward.
Yeah. So are the cleats up there?
I mean, I still wear my cleats when I cut the grass. I still run hills.
Yeah, he said I'm still good. Hey, so he said, Coach, if you ever need me, I'm ready. But what I mean? I'm locked in. Yeah, I feel that, bro, because I feel like there's this thing, and it's like I'm in it right now. You know what I mean? Like I'm literally in that. I'm not saying like hang up the cleats or not, but it's that pressure, right? It's that pressure of like, man, I got a family. It's like I got this, so it's like having to continue to prepare myself for like a football season where it's like everything's kind of out of my control. All I can control is like if I'm worked out, if I'm ready, if my body's here, things like that. But then everything else is like, okay, if this guy likes you, or this guy's seen your 40 time, or you had this guy versus this guy. And it's like that battle, a lot of people don't talk about it, but at this point, it's so tiring. And mentally, it takes so much out of you. And I'm like, I could direct that energy into building a business, into the podcast, into a lot of things. So like me currently right now, it's like, man, I'm like, but it's like, no, it's like, and especially last year, because it was different for me, because last year, like I've been playing in the IFL, right? I've been playing in the Arena Football League, just killing them, you know what I mean? And I haven't ever but it's easy to get hurt in that league, you know what I mean? Because I'm hitting the walls, I'm so much quicker, it's so much faster. Like this is faster than the NFL because every time I catch a ball, I got linebacker, 2 linemen, and you know what I mean? It's quick. So with that, and exactly. And then I'm still putting up good numbers. I'm still doing that. And from there, I got the opportunity to play in the UFL this year. So I was like, dang, I'm thinking about hanging up the cleats. I'm like, this might be my last season. Then they call. I'm like, oh, okay, let me go see what they talking about. Then I got cut. And then they brought me back. You know what I mean? So it's like now I got a taste of what that G League or what that NFL kind of UFL is. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I got re-energized. You know what I mean? So I'm still grinding there, but I do understand like just the pressure. Even like the season doesn't start for 5 to 6 months from now, but from right now, it's a lot of pressure to, okay, I got to keep my body right. Or thinking about this, do I need to go to this camp, reach out to these coaches? Energy that I feel like, man, if I directed that energy into my business, if I direct that energy into other things, you know what I mean, to build these other things, I can start building those things now because at the end of the day, I do have a family and I do want to provide. I'm not 18, I'm not 16, I'm not 20 anymore. It's like I can't ask my mom for money. No, I give her money. I have to give her money. You know what I mean? I want to give her money rather than the other way around. So we got bills to pay. I'm in an apartment. You know what I mean? Things like that is like understanding that and the urgency of just like wanting to be great outside of football as well as something that I think a lot of people don't talk about. And not hanging up the cleats, a lot of people don't hang them up, right? And they just gonna keep going from team to team in the IFL, making $200 a game and doing that. And it's tough, you know what I mean? Because that's so much of your time and energy, you know?
I think that's something else you can probably hit on too. And maybe not this podcast, but just thinking in future topics for you. Just what's the economics behind these different leagues? Yeah. Like, is it even worth the time investment you're putting in?
Exactly. And I think like even quickly, but the IFL, talk about that, it's like $250 a game. That's the average contract. You can get paid more depending on the player you are, the team. It's $250 a game. The UFL is $5,500 a game. So UFL is worth it. You're getting paid $20,000 a month. You know what I mean? But only for 3 months. You know what I mean? And if you don't play, if you're inactive,
that's still a yearly salary for
exactly.
some people.
And I wasn't playing. I was on a bench. And I was getting paid $3,000. It was like $3,000. So I was getting paid $10,000, almost $12,000 a month just to beat on the bench there. You know what I mean? So it's worth it for sure. But then you get their IFL. The IFL is not so much about the pay. It's about an opportunity. The opportunity to get filmed, the opportunity to get seen by someone else where you can get that raise and that promotion. So it's different.
Yeah, I think it's good to just talk about like this because, when you talk about hanging up the cleats, like what is your mentality as you're doing these different leagues or chasing these opportunities? Is it just because you just want to play?
Exactly.
Or is it because you're trying to set yourself up for a bigger opportunity down the line? And do you have to be able to realistically assess yourself and like, I realistically have a chance to make it to another level, to work my way up. Like, and some people can and can't do that well. For me, when I looked at myself, I was like, sure, I have all the physical specimen and I do have a history and I think I could get myself back to where I was, but where I was currently, I was like, that's going to be a tough route back.
Nah, for sure.
And a system that, has a history of losing, I don't know if this is going to be the place for me to do it at. That's a tough decision to make, but that is interesting. Like I didn't realize it was so low on the IFL.
So low, but I think a lot of I'm so like I didn't let that deter my business. Like I had a sales job, remote job,
100%.
so I had to do that. But a lot of guys, they're not doing that. They're just getting off of buy with what they do. We getting like meal money, and some guys, if you're traveling, like they take care of your housing and stuff like that. But I'm like, people are using it like college and living off $250. Some other guys have other businesses or ways to make money, but I'm like, bro, I can't just make money. I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but I still got an apartment here. I still got to take care of this. Somebody got to pay the rent and the bills here. You know what I mean? So it was that back and forth, but it all worked out, man. It was a great opportunity. I think the main thing is like I met amazing people. You know what I mean? I made networks that end up getting me to the UFL. I made some great friends. You know what I mean? So I started the podcast based off from the IFL. You know what I mean? So it was all cool, man.
Yeah.
And the one thing I wanted to bring up too, just in Cornell specifically, like when we were living together, right? I just want to talk about, because like most people that watch this podcast, like who they know me, but they're like, okay, I'm gonna introduce you in the beginning, you know what I mean, before, but
all right,
you are probably one of, and I could say this truthfully and honestly, you had a very large influence on me in my life at Cornell and after.
I'm unfazed, yeah, finished stacked